10 races on the program, Spike, and we're starting off in the 5th race, first leg of the jackpot. Horse number 8, Go Gold, and a very talented young rider in Ryan Munga.
Yes, you know, and Ryan knows him well. He rides him often on the back home here. His last run, he ran 4th at the Vaal over 2-4. I believe he's unlucky not to just about win it. He got cramped for galloping room, and he's a big, burly horse. And he got out late, so the 2 and odd lengths behind was a good run for me. So we're expecting him to run a good race again.
Super. Then we move on to race 6, where you're represented by horse number 15, Lady Muffet, and Apprentice Baloo.
She was also on the same day as Go Gold, got beat. She was also very unlucky. She got beat a short head. She also got interfered with a bit and trapped and couldn't get out. And when she got out, look, my horses don't need to be panel beaten, but she didn't hardly got a smack. Carl Zechner dropped his whip at the 100 meters and she got beat a short head. I think if she had one backhander, she would have won. So she was unlucky, but her downfall is the draw. And if this young boy Baloo, I don't know him, I believe he rides nicely. He's claiming, so he gets a nice allowance. If he can get her nicely positioned without running wide, I believe she's a big runner, yeah.
Excellent. Now the aforementioned jockeys once again aboard horse number 11, Havana Beat, in race number 8.
He's also not drawn well, and he's a funny little horse. He's on his way to retiring, but he's got it in him. He just he's just a funny little horse. Things have to go his way. He's drawn poorly, but he can come off the pace. It's the outside track, so you can be patient on him, and hopefully he runs a place for us. Yeah.
First class, and then for the final leg of the pick 6, horse number 5, Cumberland, has the mount of the unfortunate Ian Sturgeon as far as the result of the Vodacom Durban July is concerned.
Yes, that's racing. You know, it's a 50-50. And you've got to go the route that you know that the officials take. But besides that, Cumberland's a nice little horse. We gelded him. He had quite a problem with his test eye, so I think he's a much happier horse now. He was a very fiery horse and full of nonsense, and I would write off his other runs, but he might need the run. I've done a lot of sand work with him, but he's working nicely, but I just want to see a big improvement in him with the gelding, which I believe will come.
Fantastic. That's a horse for the notebook. And then 2 in the 10th race, horse number 13, Flaming Spirit, with once again Ian Sturgeon aboard, and Ryan Munga does duty on horse number 7, Red John.
Yeah, Red John's also about to hang up his gloves, but his homework is so good, and I believe he needs a bit of ground, and that's. But he's been a problem horse all along. But he's fit and well, and if he runs up close, it will be good for him. And regarding my other filly, she's been off for a long break. I just threw her out. She had a minor problem, but nothing serious, not lameness or anything. She got a bit of a virus, and been owned by my wife. I can control the strings there. I said we're going to throw her out. She's a very light filly, and let her furnish, and she's furnished nicely. She's still not a big filly, but I believe this will be, she's taken on the boys, but I believe it's a bit sharp for her. But hopefully she could run up close to winning the placings.
She named after your wife, Flaming Spirit?
No, I bought her actually, and my wife, after I bought her, I was putting it together. She said, no, I think I'll take this one. So it's great. She ran a good second her last run, and you know, she's not a big filly, and she's done enough work, but I just think the 14 will be a bit sharp.
Roy, it's a sort of day where you can be gone by the 4th race and hopefully continue on the winning ways. There's good reason for that. Starting off in the first race with horse number 4, Phuket, who's the mount of Ryan Munga, and seems to have as good a chance as any of the horses in the race. Form's coming along nicely.
She's had the 2 runs with us. First run she ran 5th, running on strongly. Her last run was a very good run on the sand. She should have actually won, but she sort of veered close home. But back on the grass, it's a competitive field, but we're hoping for a good run.
Buster Posey is a horse that we've chatted about before, owned by your good old mate Robin Bruss in partnership with Mr. Springer, bred by Robin, and the form reads exactly the way you'd like to see a horse progress.
He's come along the right way, but he's a real Zimbabwe horse. He's owned by Zimbabweans, bred by a Zimbabwean, trained by a Zimbabwean. Unfortunate the jockey is not Zimbabwean, but he's coming the right way. He's been a little bit green, but his last run with the blinkers was a very good run. And had that been 1,000, he would have almost got away with it. So Sunday he's back to 1,000 with the blinkers. Again, there's form in the race, but he's got to be a big runner.
Then we move on to race 3, first leg of the place accumulator. Horse number 11, who is Slick Deputy. He's had 3 consecutive runs on the sand and reverts to the grass.
Yeah, her merit's very low, and she's thereabouts, as you say. Her last 4 runs have been good. She goes back to the grass over 1,000. She's probably a tad better on the sand, but she's fitting well. She's had her problems, but she seems very good now, so let's hope for a good run.
Okay, then we move on to Chief Sue, horse number 4 in race 4. The form's already been franked by the victory of Assisi this afternoon, and that augurs well for a good performance by him.
He's only had the 1 run for us. It was in the sand. He was well. We didn't know what to expect, but he ran a cracker. Now back to the grass. A repetition of that last run, and he's got to be competitive.
Another runner in race 4, horse number 7, Dragon Lee, the mount of Ian Sturgeon, looks absolutely cherry ripe.
He won his maiden very well. His post-maiden run, he only ran 5 lengths off them. He is, all right, he's turned 3 now, but he's still a very young horse taking on the old campaigners. It's a tough ask, but he's very well, and he's a nice little horse. Let's hope he runs in the money.
And then finally, your last competitor in the same race is horse number 12, King of Magic. Looks to have limitations, but maybe a squeak in the quartet.
He's coming back from a very long break. He had a few little niggle problems. He's going to need the run. But no, there's a race or 2 left in him, but he's going to need this run on Sunday.
A game of extreme patience.
Absolutely.